Thank you.
Right?
Eyelashes. Yes. Very pretty. Okay.
Janelle, is Leo's thing not on here?
I will ask for an amendment to the agenda to add item 5A. Yes.
The meeting for August 26, 2024 at 7 p.m. is called to order. May I have roll call, please?
Candace Mayor Machado. I'm sorry.
You're just fine.
I'm not multitasking very well.
You're just, I still would answer to it. I would have gotten caught off guard with that as well.
Mayor Candace Machado, I'm hearing a little bit of
It's okay.
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me, I was just
I'm
like.
here.
sign. You're trying to turn some of those down. Sorry. Mayor Candace Machado.
I'm here again.
Councilmember Daisha Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Greg Plesvig.
Here.
Councilmember Phil Gerke.
Here.
Councilmember Alana Bino.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Murray.
Here.
Engineer Shane Porter.
Here.
Chief of Police Mike Thompson.
Here.
Fire Chief Leo Malsom.
Here.
Public Works Director Robert Llewellyn.
Here.
Town Clerk Janelle Underwood, and then the rest of the citizens.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Mayor and Council, if I could ask for an amendment to the agenda to add item number 5A, approval of a SLIP grant agreement for the fire brush truck. If I could ask for an amendment to that.
You said 5A?
5A.
Do I have a motion to amend?
I so move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. All right. Lost my train of thought. It's fine, it's been a long day. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
All motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes to approve the consent agenda. Line item 2, public hearing, 7 p.m., WCDA CDBG funded neighborhood development program project.
Madam Mayor and Council, I would just ask that you open up this public hearing. This is for the WCDA CDBG funded neighborhood development project. This is for the sidewalk project that was just completed this last spring. And I'm not sure if Engineer Porter has any additional comments for that.
Yeah, I can just, so it's a requirement of the grant that we hold a second public hearing prior to being able to close out the project, just to take public comment on how the project went. We did advertise for the public hearing in the Tribune on August 6, 2024. So it's just to take public comment to see if anybody had anything to say in favor or against the way the sidewalk project was completed.
Do I have any public comments for the WCDA CDBG funded neighborhood development program project? Any public comments regarding that? Public comments. Last call for public comments. All right, public comments are closed for the public hearing. Line item 3, are there any public comments regarding anything else?
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
Did we do the consent agenda? Or did I fall asleep? I did.
Yes.
We did
I
the
knew it.
consent agenda.
Should
Yes,
have had a nap today. Thank you.
thank you. Public comments from the audience regarding anything additional beyond the public hearing? No public comments. Public comments are closed. Line item 4, ratify mayor's signature MOU for Settler Wind LLC.
Madam Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality Industrial Siting Division. This is a memorandum of understanding between the Board of Commissioners of Converse County, the Board of Commissioners of Natrona County, Wyoming, the City of Douglas, the City of Casper, the Town of Evansville, the Town of Barnum, the Town of Glen Rock, the City of Mills, and the Town of Rolling Hills, Wyoming, for impact assistance funds. This is something that Town Attorney Scott Murray and Chief of Police Mike Thompson and Fire Chief Leo Molson and Mayor Machado have been working on. And so we are just looking for ratification for the signature that Mayor Machado had signed here 2 weeks ago. And if you have any questions, Town Attorney Scott Murray can answer those questions.
Any discussion? Questions, thoughts, quandaries of the mind?
I was awake for this one, so I got it.
You're doing just fine. All right, do I have a motion to ratify mayor's signature for the MOU for the Settler Wind LLC?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, line item 5, ratify mayor's signature agreement for federal award for Lathrop Road Reconnaissance Report.
Madam Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is approval to ratify the mayor's signature on this agreement for the federal award of the Lathrop Road Reconnaissance Report. And this is a report that will be conducted to further fund the reconstruction of Lathrop Road as well as Texas Street,
A portion of
a
Texas.
portion of Texas Street. And so I'm just asking for approval to ratify the mayor's signature on that.
Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And we've added in 5A, approval of SLIB grant agreement.
Madam Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is contract number 241555. This is an agreement between the Town of Evansville and the Wyoming State Land and Investment Office. This is for the grant that the town was awarded for $135,000 to replace the brush truck that the town currently has that they're wanting to replace. And that's brought before you tonight for approval.
Any discussions or questions
I just
for
have
Chief Lawson?
One quick question. We are disposing of the extra truck, right? Or not?
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get rid of one truck because of this one.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, okay.
Do we get to sell those parts?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what's wrong with them?
Chief Lawson, can I have you come up so anybody who's watching at home? I'd much appreciate it, sir.
What was the questions?
I said, do we get to take some parts off that one, or is it do we get to sell some of those parts? And I mean, obviously, we're not just scrapping the truck, are some of the
You
parts
mean like
feasible,
the
or,
tools on it?
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
are-
keep the tools. We just need a new truck.
Just,
Because the one we're replacing is in 1991. So that's the one that will go away.
that's what it was just like, is it full equipment that's, or is it literally just the truck? It's not the equipment on the truck, it's not the,
So the grant is for the truck chassis and then the firefighting bed that goes on it, but it's not gonna have a whole ton of equipment come with it, no. But we have 3 trucks, so there might be a few odds and ends we'll have to get for it, cause this one will be a little bit bigger than the one it's replacing, just because brush trucks have got bigger since 1991. But, it's just replacing the truck.
that's what I was curious if it was like a whole bunch of other equipment that was on that truck that was getting.
No, like I
replaced
said,
as well.
there'll probably be some odds and ends that we'll have to get for the new truck that one doesn't currently have on it. But it's nothing, it shouldn't be anything extravagant
Do you have any kind of guess, dollar wise,
as far as the equipment.
extra equipment,
I don't off the top of my head.
somewhere under $1 million?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the new truck's only gonna be 270,000, so,
Okay.
yeah. And the other half of that money was actually money that the fire department's been saving from sending Brush 12 out to the out-of-town assignments. We've been saving that money for about 4 years, 5 years. It's been 4 or 5 years it's taken us to accumulate enough money into a savings, which is only half, but we have the other half of that grant saved.
Okay.
So I didn't have to,
So there's money set aside to cover this, so
Yep.
I guess that's really what it was
Yep.
asking.
and most of the equipment, if we needed to put other equipment on it, we would use whatever money we still have in our savings account from Brush 12 going out on the assignments. We should be able to.
Sure, okay.
Thank you, Leo.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Chief. Okay, do I have a motion to approve of the SLIP grant agreement?
I'll motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Keeping up with our agenda, line item 6, ordinance number 13-2024, an ordinance establishing governing body salary, first reading.
Madam Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 13-2024. This is an ordinance establishing the salaries for the governing body of the town of Evansville, Wyoming, and it's brought before you tonight on first reading.
Do I have any discussion regarding this?
Yes.
Okay.
So this ordinance will set the mayor's salary at 2,000, correctly? Correct.
Yes.
A month.
Yes.
And the council people will be at 150? Okay.
150 per meeting, correct?
Yes,
Per
yes,
regular and
yes.
special council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have, I guess in my mind, I don't have a real problem with the mayor part of it. Mills, for instance, pays their mayor $2,000 a month. The town of Wright pays their mayor about $1,250. The Barn Nunn mayor gets paid $1,500. And I didn't have a chance to check a lot of those. But I do feel that our council people aren't being paid near enough. And if you're a council person in Mills, you get paid $750 a month. Okay, if you are in Wright, you get paid $427 a month.
Write that down one more time. You said Mills is what? You said 750?
Mills is $750.
Is-
Wright is $427. Bar None is like $200 a month. Their mayor gets paid $1,500.
Mayor, or Bar Nuns is 1,500 for mayor.
Yes.
What
And
was Wright's?
Wright is $1,250. Mills is $2,000.
So I can at least say off of our discussions, because we went back and forth a really long time trying to address this. So we went off of, in terms of salary basis, we went off of state statute. Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, but we went off of state statute in terms of state statute states that council can only receive 150 per meeting.
Right,
Is that correct, or am I wrong
that is
for the
correct.
state
Yes.
statute?
Under 15-103, that sets the limit for those things.
So why does Mills get paid $750?
I mean, we can't
Or not
really,
Mills.
we can't really comment on what another municipality is doing or not doing. I wouldn't feel comfortable at least doing that on my side to explain that. We came up with these numbers per state statute on what we're allowed. So we went to the top high end for council for what the state statute states for you guys in the state statute. Scott, do you have the state statute pulled up?
Yeah.
Can you just read it out for council for us? But I hope that makes sense that I don't feel
No, it
comfortable.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable with commenting about what another municipality is doing.
I'm not either. I'm
well,
just
no, it's
using that as a basis.
No, that's
But
completely fine.
because I don't care,
So the
I mean,
statute,
it's, go ahead.
the statute, and this again is 15-2-103, reads that the governing body shall fix the salaries for the mayor and councilmen in towns not operating under the commission or city manager form of government. The salaries shall be fixed before their terms begin and shall not increase during the term for which they are elected. The salary for mayor shall be paid in 12 or more installments and may not exceed the maximum of $24,000 per year. The salaries for each councilman shall not exceed $150 for actual attendance at each regular or special meeting. All appointed officers shall receive the salary or compensation as provided by law or ordinance. Any elected or appointed officers who are entitled to receive a salary or compensation under this section may elect not to receive all or a portion of the salary or compensation at any time during their term.
But it doesn't say specifically, does it say 150 specifically or? Okay.
The salary for each councilman shall not exceed $150 for actual attendance at each regular or special meeting.
So then I guess the conversation would be to kind of appease councils to try to figure out maybe why some of the other municipalities are, and unless, Chief, if you can weigh in, or Janelle, if you can weigh in regarding
So
that.
Mills is city,
Mills has a city manager.
and they have a city
Yeah.
manager.
If I can weigh in, Mayor.
Go ahead, Chief.
So, understanding the 750, if they have more than one meeting, say if they have 3 workshops, 2 council meetings, I think that's where the 750 comes from because it's so much per.
Because they
meeting.
have more meetings.
Correct.
Okay.
But they're also operating under a city manager.
City and we're under town.
And just so we can get clarification for the council, what is the difference between they're operating under a city and a town in terms of what council would be?
When you become,
Okay.
when you have population of 4,000 or more, then you become a city. And we're at 2,900.
And there's different statutory sections that apply if you're dealing with the city, first-class city or an incorporated town.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question. So per meeting, so if there's a work session, then we get paid $150 for that also, right?
No.
No.
She's saying, he's saying yes, she's saying no.
No,
No.
it's
No, it's for
regular.
regular or special meetings.
That'd be a special meeting, we're not a workshop.
No,
No,
Work
special,
sessions aren't considered, special meetings, I don't believe.
so.
no,
That's how some
special,
people are
special
saying yes
meeting.
and no, it's just.
Special meeting is when we have to advertise and hold a special meeting so that the governing body can take action. A work session.
Like if we had that main break with the sewer system and we needed to do,
If there had to be a decision made, then we would have to call for a special meeting.
But
Was it-
special meetings are where decisions get made.
Correct.
Work sessions are where we work as a strategic unit to get to a place where we're gonna make a decision, but we don't actually make a decision.
Correct.
Is that correct?
No
Okay.
action is taken on a work session.
So at any time, say when we're asked to go out of town, to go to WAM or to go to anything like that, is any of those things covered?
No.
So that is gonna be volunteer basis as well.
No.
Any board we sit on, that's a volunteer basis as well.
Correct. But at this point in time, we wouldn't have any council members sitting on any additional boards because I'm specifically the person that, as of right now, I mean, we don't know what the future holds, but as of right now, I'm the only person that will attend special meetings out there in the community. Beyond that point, we'll have to wait for public comments until we're done. We're just going off of what state statute states.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
It was one of those that there's always lots of questions when it
Oh,
comes to
yeah.
this stuff, when it's
Okay.
being moved around and talked about. It's like, this is
Yeah.
the best time to be asking questions.
Oh, absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Yeah,
so that's why I
went to
just
the-
wanted to make sure of just that simplifying of just like, okay, does that mean, because there was when on the Metro board or on this board or on that
Mhm.
board, when we were asked to be volunteering and doing these things,
Mhm.
putting together community projects, it's
Yeah.
always been volunteer, so that's why I was curious. And at this point, do these get to be involved in that 150 per meeting when you're doing all that work?
State statute does not allow that.
Yeah, we, at least on my end, Janelle and I have been back and forth with Scott and Aaliyah in regards to what are we allowed to do per state statute in the town of Evansville. And 150 was at the top
Right.
ranking for at least getting us to be comparable with other municipalities and making sure that everybody's being compensated for their time since we are making choices and decisions for the town.
Makes sense. When do we do amendments?
You can do amendment now if you wish.
I would
I
like to
propose do an
propose
amendment.
on the dollar side of this, okay, that. Let me ask another question, Scott, before I say anything. So if we could pay 150 per meeting, okay? What happens if somebody misses a meeting?
They don't get paid.
State statute says they don't get paid for.
They weren't in attendance.
Yeah, in attendance.
Okay, all right, that's why I had to ask.
Yep.
Okay. This is kind of what I want my amendment to be. This only pertains to the dollar figures. The 150 is set by statute, okay? But from what little bit of research I did, I think that 1,500 is more in line for the mayor. Okay? And that's kind of my amendment.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that we set the mayor's salary at 1,500, not 2,000. To be more in line with the other communities in Wyoming that are similar in size.
So we would need a motion.
Yeah, we need a motion and then your
And then if-
amendment can either
I need a
survive or
second, I
not.
guess I need a
Yeah.
second. I want
Yeah, so if you want, you could make a motion to amend the
to
mayor's
make,
salary.
okay, I want to make a motion to amend the mayor's salary to 1,500.
Do I have a motion to amend the mayor's salary to $1,500 a month?
Second.
So he's first of it.
Oh, he's first.
Okay.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Do I have a second? All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Was there a second?
No,
Then it died, right?
we're gonna die.
Yeah,
Okay.
did I too like a second?
Any further discussion regarding
First reading of
the
ordinance.
first, Thank you, Janelle. It's been a long day. Oh my gosh. It has really been a long day for all of us here at the town. Okay, do I have a
Motion to approve ordinance 13-2024 in first reading.
what Janelle said? Yes.
I'll
so
motion.
move.
I second.
Okay, who was first? Who was
I'll
second?
first it.
Who was second?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, first and second, Janelle.
First and second.
Okay. Motion passes. Okay.
Nope, you have to,
All those in favor?
Oh my goodness almighty today. Okay.
Ayes and nays.
She's got to take it from there.
She was going on.
It's been a long day here. Okay, Janelle, please help me.
Yes, so you've got a motion and a second. I just need to ask if all in favor.
All those in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
motion passes.
Any nays?
Any nays?
You're, okay. Okay. Okay,
Okay, line item 7, number 9-2024, a resolution of commitment to economic and community development.
Madam Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is a resolution of commitment to economic and community development. A resolution of the town of Evansville commitment to economic and community development by committing a percentage of all increased property tax revenue generated by the Wyoming Business Council Business Ready Community Grant Award for the Mesa Solution Project. And I'm gonna turn it over to Engineer Porter at this
Yeah.
point.
So I can take it from here. So this came, we had a site visit with the Wyoming Business Council staff a couple of weeks ago. And this is on the grant application we've submitted for the Mesa project, which will be going to Laramie on September 11th to present to the Business Council Board. But at the site visit, the staff, I would say highly recommended that the town consider this type of resolution, something that commits future revenues to help with projects like this in the future, so you're not always coming back to the state and asking for as much as you can get. If you've got some kind of funding source to help, it helps the state fund future projects if you've got something to put in it. And so it's up for discussion tonight. I mean, we put in, at their recommendation, it says a minimum of 10% of all increased property tax revenues as a result of the Mesa Solutions project. So that would include the Mesa Solutions project's not just the lot that Mesa's on, it's the other 162 acres that surround that lot. And so it would be any increased property tax revenues for that 200 and I think Mesa's 45, so roughly 207 acres roughly in that ballpark. So as those property taxes increase, as you know, big buildings get put on them, like Mesa's is a roughly a $75 to $80 million building, and infrastructure improvements that get put on that lot, obviously that's going to increase property values and increase sales tax revenues. So we're going to earmark, per this resolution, if it gets adopted, earmark 10% of those increased revenues. So nothing that affects the revenues you're currently getting, just 10% of the increased revenues is how this is worded. Does that make sense? So open to any questions. Again, this was something that was highly recommended and something that if it's approved tonight, that we would pass on to the Wyoming Business Council, and something that they would probably utilize in their staff report to the board to say that the town is moving forward to trying to generate some revenue for economic development on their own. So.
Any questions?
I've got a comment. I think how to put this. I understand that. I understand the thinking behind it, okay? But we also, even though the tax revenue goes up, our costs go up because we have to maintain those streets. We got to maintain the water system, the sewer system. We have to maintain all those things. I would rather give, and I'm not sure how you would do this, but I would rather give a higher percentage of the net. And I know that's probably very hard to figure, but I understand that, but we don't know yet what our costs are gonna be. right?
Right,
Am
and
I-
I think
am I-
that's why you're kind of holding at 10% rather than, you still got 90%. I mean, so you're trying to.
So
trying to stay on
90% of
road.
the increase, but we gotta keep our costs under that. Is that basically what you're saying?
Well, basically. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's not gonna be somebody out there with a pen and pencil tracking all that. But.
No, and, I mean, it's,
And from what, and that's just of our share of the property tax revenue. So if, as we were having the discussion on the other project that was west or east of there, it really only amounted to about $11,000 a year. Correct? It's somewhere in their ballpark,
I
just
don't know exactly how much.
how much cowboy
Property tax.
math, it was somewhere in there, so, I mean, if the revenue went up $10,000, we're gonna be basically $1,000, right?
Committed to it.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, I'm cool with that.
And I think there's, as we see that move forward, just Scott, you can correct me where I'm wrong, but as a resolution, I mean, it's not ordinance, it's not law, it's something that could be amended. If we see, maybe we see that we're generating more and want to contribute 15%, maybe we want to kick it back to 8. This is just a starting point.
Okay.
I mean, as a commitment to the town, to show the business council that we're committed to this and future projects, and this is what we're able to commit to right now. I mean, it can be adjusted.
I'm good with that, I'm good with that. I just had to walk it through in my mind, to make sure. Because 10% sounded like a lot.
Mr. Porter?
Yeah.
This would just basically act as almost, I don't wanna say like a savings account, but almost like a savings account for when we have those blah, blah, blah percent matches, correct?
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
I should have mentioned that. That's really what I envision it being used for as that or any other area grows and we need to apply for $1 million grant for infrastructure improvements. This would hopefully have that money to provide the 10 or 20% match of that in time. But that's what it would be. And that's what we've done with, we got revenue recapture on the Evansville Business Park. And those funds, as we've recaptured that revenue from lot sales, it's kind of been reserved and earmarked and used for matching funds for grants.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Any additional questions for Mr. Porter? Thoughts, quandaries of mind? Okay. It's a really large project, to state it lightly.
Yes.
Lots of time's been put into it. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 9-2024, a resolution of commitment to economic and community development?
I so move.
I'll second.
Okay, who's so moving first so Gino
I move
knows?
first. It takes
I know
longer for
everybody's
my voice to
excited, but-
carry that way.
Dacia's jumping in.
Is there any opposition, any nays? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Line item 8, Mr. Porter, you are on again,
All
sir.
right. Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. So just a couple more things tonight on my engineer report. I mentioned last time on the Lathar Pathway project that we were going to bring forward a change order tonight to extend the completion date. So I have a change order tonight for consideration, changing the final completion date from August 15th, 2024 to October 15th, 2024. Actually, I think I changed that. My initial one, we went with October 4th after talking to the contractor. So it's changing the completion date from August 15th to October 4th, 2024. And the whole purpose of that was just to give them some time when it wasn't 100 degrees out to plant their sod, just to let it be a little cooler weather. So it's a no-cost change order. So just recommend a motion to have the mayor execute the change order with Crown Construction to extend the completion date to October 4th, 2024.
Do I have a motion?
Okay, go ahead.
I think Greg just made the motion.
Do I have a
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, and then the last thing I had tonight is on the emergency connection project, which we haven't talked a whole lot about lately, but we've been working on the design and working with a sub-consultant on the design for that. I have the first drawdown request for approval tonight. It's for the design engineering invoices through June of 2024. So this project is funded by the American Rescue Plan Act, or partially funded from the American Rescue Plan Act. It's a grant administered through SLIB. So the grant covers 84% of the project costs, but the way it's set up, we're actually able to draw funds down at 100%. So we had a total estimate. They have a grant award for 84%, but we can draw against that whole 84%, and then we'll be responsible for what's left. So it looks like it's 100% on the drawdown request. It is, but it's 100% up to 84%, and then we get the rest. So the total of the invoices is $20,799.75, of which the draw request is that full amount, and it leaves a total remaining balance of the grant of $487,471.25. So just recommend a motion to have the mayor sign and submit drawdown request number 1.
Do I have a motion to approve drawdown request number 1?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Just add to that, just a little update on that project. So we're at 90% design right now. Our subconsultant is going to have 100% by September 6th, and we plan to put it out to bid September 9th to get it moving and open bids in September with the intent to award by October 1st. And there's actually a timeline on there that's required by the grant, October 1st. So we're down to the wire.
We have to have bids by October 1st? It is down to the wire.
We're down to the wire. They said they had, in a meeting I had with them the other day, they had a webinar through, there's hundreds of these projects throughout the state. And the webinar said as long as we're real close, they'll work with us through a couple of months or a couple of weeks into October. So I think as long as we get a couple good bids, we'll be in good shape.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the engineer's report?
I'll motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Line item 9, public comments. Do we have any additional public comments? Sir, can you come up to the lectern? Can you give us your name,
Gene
your
Williams,
address?
353 Blackmore.
Nice to see you here. What can we do for you?
Well, first thing is what we were talking about the, what you guys get paid for the month. I was wondering how old that statute is that he was looking up.
I'm not sure when it was. I'd have to pull it back up here to be able to tell you when it was drafted.
Well, inflation, and you guys got to drive here. I think can't you vote amongst yourself to give yourself a modest raise? Normally I wouldn't say stuff like this, but I know you all do homework. Sounds like he's been doing homework, but just a thought. I think you should be able to give yourself a modest raise. Okay, that's that. The other thing I wanted to ask about that brush truck, I guess it's a fire truck. Does it have any value? Does it run? Is it gonna be for sale?
It will go up to, once we get the new truck, it goes up to public auction, right? You know?
Oh, okay, good. Okay, that's that. The other thing I wanted to ask what the city council thought about, I gave Janelle a letter a while back about putting a no engine brake sign on Blackmore. And I'd pay for the sign. Cause it's like having a couple AR-15s go off at your bedroom window when they come down there. And I've talked to many truck drivers and they don't understand why you would need a Jake brake on that road if you're going 40.
So you gave Janelle a letter?
Yeah, I had
To give to the mayor.
Yeah, I had a petition I did a couple years ago. I'm pretty good at procrastinating things and plus running a business. But the people at Stokes don't like it. They're out there trying to sell a tractor. I mean, it's brief, but it's still upsetting and disturbing. And there's no need for it.
So it must have been.
So how long
That
ago
one
was
may
this?
have been chat then.
Pardon?
I said, how long ago was this?
Oh, I can't remember.
couple years ago.
That's when I first started, but I think I was in here, 5-6 months ago and gave you that paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a petition with it, was it? Or
I don't think there was
I found the original if I didn't make a copy, but I don't know if that matters or not, but
Yeah, I didn't see any
no, there was
petition.
no petition.
just make things more pleasant, noise, light pollution, it's out of control.
So what you're requesting is that there's a sign for Jake Breaks
No
on
Jake
Blackmore.
breaks.
Yeah,
No Jake breaks.
No Jake Breaks on Blackmore.
I put one up and I shouldn't have, but I put please no Jake breaks. And a couple months later, I saw it was gone and I realized I shouldn't have been a violator. But
Chief, would you like to weigh in? This seems like this would be your area of expertise.
So the town doesn't currently have any ordinances against Jake breaks. I'm not opposed to a signage because signs don't really mean anything unless you have teeth to enforce behind it. So I don't have the manpower to have people there all the time to catch people with Jake breaks. But if you get like vehicle descriptions and call them in, we can obviously address it that way. So I feel like from our end of things, we're gonna consider if we should probably have an ordinance outlawing those. And of course, we probably need to look at beyond just Blackmore, if there's any other places we also, if we're gonna do it, let's look at the town as a whole. Because if you put a sign up, then you can put a sign up, but then people also expect you to enforce it. And when you don't have an ordinance behind the sign and there's no enforcement, then of course that makes the town look bad in that sense too.
yeah, I get that, but most people, if they see the sign, and I don't mean all of them, but they would probably respect it. And it's mostly the truck drivers from Mesa, and I probably ruined it. I offered to buy them pizzas, $50 every month if they wouldn't use it, and now they use it more. They use it when they're upshifting even. So
Chief, is that something that we could
just try it.
Draft an ordinance,
potentially
maybe.
look at? I mean, we are technically looking at lots of different things right now in the town. So just so you're aware, sir, the chief and I and the attorneys and Janelle, we've had extensive, and the gentleman in the back, we've had extensive conversations about a lot of different areas and things in the town that we need to start looking at for future. So this would be another one of those things that we could put on the list to see what we can come up with that could potentially assist in that arena. But we are looking at a lot of different things right now that we need to address.
With the Mesa project, that may actually eliminate the problem because if Mesa trucks are the ones that are mostly causing the issue.
It's their subs that, because I see Mesa go by with their 1-tons pulling one of those compressors, and he's got no problem stopping. And then a semi with 2 of them on there. He's got bigger tires, bigger brakes, and he still has to use it. So I know it's unnecessary.
It's something, I'll do some research on it. We'll have some discussion.
I mean, all the guys, FedEx, none of them use it. The oil trucks that go in and out of there, it's mostly just, and a couple cattle haulers, but they don't know. They're new to the area. They probably ate up at the Olive Garden and heading down to the truck stop or something. I've seen them once in a while, but those guys leaving Mesa, it's 6 a.m. It's terrible. So
We're gonna go ahead and put that on the list to start looking at, because like I said, again, we're looking at a lot of different things right now, so
yeah,
it wouldn't be unusual for us to be at least looking at this as well while we're looking at several other areas of things. So I'll put that on my list, sir.
okay. So another thing is the drainage swales on the west side of Blackmore Road. Over the years, when they were building things, the silts come in and those dirt parking lots, when they plow it down or when it rains, there's like 2 feet of road base in that bar ditch. And we talked about it before. I know there's lines under there, but it really doesn't hold much water. It's only 2 feet wide and about 12 inches deep. And then it goes over the road and creates problems.
Mr. Porter, any thoughts?
Robert and I could look at it again. I know it's been a few years since we last visited it. I mean, if there is some cleanup work we could do, we could try to do some, but that was the big issue we had before with all the utilities in there.
Don't be chicken.
Couldn't dig over or dig deep enough.
Yeah, well, we gotta be proactive, not reactive for that stuff, you know, we're talking about rain events are much larger. And then it just all goes into Neil's property and mine, and then down to the gas plant. So. And those retention ponds are probably half filled up with sediment also.
Mr. Porter, is that something that we could look at for this gentleman, Mr. Llewellyn? Could we
Yeah, we can look at
look
it
at
again.
this? Okay,
You know, I just feel with all the new parking lots and driveways south of us, it's gonna be bad for this town someday, at some point.
I'll go ahead and look into that.
Yeah, that would be great. And then, a couple springs ago, the other mayor, I forget his name, was out doing litter pickup.
Mr. Edwards,
Yeah. Do you guys do that anymore?
Mr. Llewellyn,
I didn't catch what he was asking.
can you come up here as well, just so the viewers at home can?
I was just wondering if they still do litter pickup. The reason why I'm saying is if you guys get the people to do it, I'd buy pizzas for the lunch, and if we could come up with some kind of prize for something, maybe.
They're actually supposed to be picking up litter as they're mowing the highways.
Yeah, that's not good for them, getting in and out of the tractor, you know, but I'm just saying if you guys do it, it was kind of a cool thing, that other guy doing it. I offered to buy him lunch. He goes, no, we're not gonna be here that long, but.
Yeah.
I just
We
would,
can definitely look
I'd
into
be part of that.
I'll let you know.
I don't know how we could come up with any prize money or something, but give them some incentive. And one other thing I had on that note was about the trees. I hate to see them getting weed whacked.
Which trees?
Any specific trees or?
Well, those guys over there, and all over town, it's not just here. It's the biggest killer of trees in the world, is trimmeritis.
I will put that down on my list as well.
Okay.
My list is starting to get real big.
And I got more, but I won't say nothing about that Reshaw Bridge sign, the weeds around it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
I have a hard time getting here. That's why my hat goes off to you people. Every meeting you're probably thinking about it at 2 PM. So my hat goes off to you. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any additional public comments? Any other public comments? Last call, public comments. Public comments are closed. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:45 PM?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition to closing down the meeting? All right.
Because I come on camera.
We'll adjourn at 7:46 PM.